Morning, Christian. How are you? Or
Good
good afternoon,
morning.
I guess.
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. You, Will?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
So, in terms of your team for a game of this nature, I think there'd be a fear of a potential letdown off of a big result like that. How much of that is quelled by the fact that you do have the immediacy and the importance of a playoff race? How much does that concern get alleviated because of the importance of this matchup coming?
So, sorry, Will. I want to understand well your question. So,
Are you? I guess are
uh,
you? Are you? Are you not worried about your team losing an edge because you know that there's still more work to be done?
no, I mean, when you play a game, you know that there is a work to be done. So, I'm not sure what you're asking me, but I think that the team is ready to go. And as I said many times in the past, and I keep saying it, I trust anybody, all the players that we have here. It's an opportunity for the one that played a little bit less, but they still train really well. Obviously, life evolves and football is not different. So we are not the same team that we used to be when we played them. Probably for them is the same. And so I think that the boys are ready to play, even with the rules that the MLS decided to create for this game.
What would this game mean for a guy like a Jordi Reyna or a Quinn McNeil or a Ben if you happen to stick with those guys and start them, guys who have not either been in the lineup or not seen as many minutes over the last couple of games?
I think it's an opportunity for them to show their work, their qualities, and the fact that they work well in training. I said to you, to you, meaning the press, that our boys train really well with a lot of intensity, and they are improving in many different aspects, in my opinion, on a daily basis, both individually and collectively. And therefore, I believe that this is an opportunity for them to show. I have to make choices, and I believe that certain players were giving us, with their characteristics, something different. But I still believe in Jordi Reyna, I still believe in Queen, I still believe in Ben Bender, in Joseph Mora, that is a very good professional, as we all know. So it's an opportunity for them to show that the work that they do on a weekly basis, they are ready to play in this important game for us. And they have the trust of all of us because we know how well they train.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol, go ahead.
Hey, Christian, I just want to follow up on Kahlina. What did he do during warmups to hurt that finger? How's he doing? What's his prognosis for tomorrow?
I think he injured his finger, and he was it was a bad injury that at least kept him out for that game for sure. But he's also been great in together with the performance department. They were really good to get him back. They went to see a specialist of the hand that reassured him. And today he trained, and if I have to be honest, he also looked good in training. So we are still evaluating his progress, and we will decide between today and tomorrow what will be the best for the team.
If he can't go, I mean, you don't want to put him on the bench if you're not sure, right? Because you need that lead, it would seem like that's a hard decision because you'd want a healthy backup. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. I mean, if he's not ready, if he's ready, he starts. If he's not ready, he's out. As simple as that. We can't have any player on the bench that is not ready. Although, especially in that position where the league allowed us to have obviously a second goalkeeper. Bizarrely, they didn't allow us to put all the players that could have been eligible. So we will only have 5 outfield players, maybe 6 outfield players on the bench. But it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever the rules say, we will get on with everything and we will give our best shot.
And just one more for me. Cisniega Pablo, obviously has been playing well in training. What did you see from him these last few weeks that kind of gave him the edge over Marks?
I think that from day one, it was a battle, and that showed how well George did, because for the second position and even for the third goalkeeper position, because we also have Adrian that is a very good goalkeeper. So we have 4 very good goalkeepers, and George was remarkable in his performance and professionality, like Pablo, like Adri, like Ale. And we thought that George deserved to be our number 2, but Pablo, in fairness, they push each other, these guys. And then also Pablo deserved this chance to be on the bench, because at one point, in my opinion, and together with the staff, we believe that he was a little bit in front of George, not because George did anything wrong, because just simply Pablo pushed to another level, which is what we want from our players. And then it's an healthy competition that we have, and the players are so good with that. They are so supportive, the goalkeepers, between themselves, which is great to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, go ahead.
Hi, Kristijan. Looking at what the lineup was, in the original game with Columbus, you were going with one striker there, and just the way the team is lined up a lot recently and played recently, it puts you in a unique position of having to make some decisions as far as whether you, and as Woody was explaining to us, you can change some of the players, but they would count as substitutions against what you might want to hold for later in a match. With that, and I'm not going to ask you to give Columbus exactly what you're going to do right now, but to start the lineup, do you feel you have the players that are on the field now that you can move into tactically what you think is working best for the team right now before having to make actual player changes?
Yeah, the problem when you make a change, you then kind of bring back play that you changed. So that would be, something that is not very good for us, especially if we have a limited amount of players on the bench. I think that I really don't agree with this way of doing things from the MLS, but we accept it because they are the rules and we have to comply to them. But I think it's not because the players, because I as I said, I trust the players. I know how well they train, and we also train all together. Everybody makes repetition in all the positions. So this is our way of working. It's not that we have a starting 11 that gets separated from the rest. Everybody, for me, is a potential starting 11. And so that doesn't change a lot. What will change certain characteristics of players, and we will see how we will do. But I have full trust and full belief in all the players that even started that game. But we are going to see. I might have to take some decisions. This is part of my job in order to make sure that we are as competitive as we can, because for us it's an important game, like it is for Columbus, like it is for other teams in the league, because the result of each game now for certain clubs becomes very relevant. So we need to honor the league, and we need to honor obviously ourselves as much as possible.
It's a unique challenge both for you and the players who may be back on there to step up their game and maybe adapt differently towards the tactics where you feel the team is stronger now. And towards that, I mean, you have certain players that Daniel Rios and Kamil Josiak in particular, who have played really well this past weekend, who were available, but not, in your starting lineup there. And specific
So
to that,
you're saying that I got wrong the selection. That's what at the time.
Which
That's-
one? The first one with Columbus or this one on
I don't know. I
Saturday?
don't know. No, because you are. No, I agree with you, Steve. Danny and Camille, they are playing really well, but at the time Ben was playing really well. Jordi Reina was playing really well.
Oh.
Quinn was playing really well. So, and I have the full belief in all of them, and the squad the same. You know.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, everything changes, and that's where my last question is, just to comment on the growth. I mean, because I thought Camille played his best game, you know, in a Charlotte uniform this past Saturday. He was
Sure.
a constant presence and just fighting hard, but it's also sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. Everything was working on Saturday, and if you could just comment on his growth within the framework of the team and his value to the club now.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned him, because for me he's a very important player, Camille, because he's good at both phases of the game. Let's say when we have the ball, when we don't have the ball, he's a guy that works hard. When we don't have the ball, he's a guy that can create and contribute offensively. I'm a big believer and big fan of players that they are strong in both phases of the game, because in the modern game, that's what you need. You cannot be very strong in one and neglect the other one, because it's simply not possible. For as much as quality you think you have, the team needs a player that when he's attacking, attacks, and when we need to defend, he defends, pressing high and working hard. If you look at now the player that everybody's talking about is Haaland at Man City, but if you look at the derby, you will see how much he works without the ball. And all the Man City players, for example, they work very hard without the ball, and in the top teams is the case. So the same year, and I think Camille has got that in him in abundance, and this is what I love about him. And yeah, so I think that there is a lot to come from Camille. He's a player that I like. He knows what I think about him. I trust him, and even when he was under pressure from some people that were questioning, but you know, we listen to everybody, but after we go our own way, because I saw him in training every day, and a lot of people that talks, they don't. So they are entitled, and I respect their opinions, but in the end, we have a privileged point of view that not many people have, and I know how good is Camille, and I think he's a credit to our club. I'm very happy to have him here.
Great. And because you, just a postscript, because you brought up Erling Haaland and stuff, you know, I've seen some people online who have tried to kind of minimize what Daniel, you know, did on Saturday by saying he had a couple of tap-ins, but I don't think they
Yeah.
realize how hard it is to make something look so easy. And if you can just comment on that, that's all I
Yeah,
got.
I mean, I don't know. I think I saw a lot of compliments, and he got also Player of the Week, which is nothing more than he deserves. Like Camille, Carol, the week before in Chicago, before the international break. And it's great for a club to have a back-to-back Player of the Week. Not only that, but to have Player of the Week in the attacking position. It's not the same that to have them in defensive position, in my opinion, with all the due respect to the players, obviously to the defenders, that to me, our defenders and the goalkeeper have been sensational in the last games as well. But going back, and for me, when the striker gets Player of the Week, it's almost like the team, all the team gets credit, because they create for them, they play from the back, they develop the game, they penetrate for them, they make an assist. But to be at the end of that, you still have to be there, and it's not easy. It's easy the finish. The finish is easy, but to be there is not easy. And a lot of people that they talk, I think that when the ball is there, they wouldn't be there. So, okay,
Sure.
It's easy to talk, but to be at the end of those balls is difficult. You need to be a goal scorer, and you need to read the game as the game develops, to be exactly in that moment, at that point. And I have that very clear in my mind. Plus, they have to see also how Danny works without the ball. and how much pressure he put on the Philadelphia defenders. That we know Glesnes and Elliott, and Wagner, they are so good with the ball and they can hurt everybody, like they have done all season with many teams. So they also have to work. They have to see the work that Danny did off the ball. So for me, he fully deserved the player of the week.
Great, thank you.
Sam, go ahead.
Thanks, Gwen. Thank you, Coach. So one of the things I want to talk to you about with Pablo getting his first start and obviously coming home with a clean sheet, I think a comment was meant earlier about how, you said the goalkeeper squad was trained together. And one of the things I've noticed in covering the team is that our goalkeepers are really close, and Kristijan is a major leader among the goalkeeper squad. And, they're all watching Dynamo Zagreb in European play together. Can you comment on how Kristijan Kahlina's leadership has really made a difference with the goalkeepers, especially as Pablo and George might have to step up this week again?
Yeah, Kristijan is one of the leaders of this of our club, of our team, because of his work rate and his experience. He played in Europe, and he played in a team that maybe doesn't play in the most covered league, the Bulgarian league, but actually is a team, Ludogorets, that is a little bit like Shakhtar Donetsk. So with a lot of good players, a lot of possibilities, and they constantly play in Europe, so in the European Cups. So his experience is invaluable, and the work rate and the dedication he brings to his work is second to none. Also, then he finds players here that they also come from, in a different level, but they come with George coming from a university, but he's a really committed boy, really dedicated. He lives for his profession. And he would be like that anyway, but to have somebody like Kale around, it just made him go to the next level. And Pablo also is a very interesting character for me, very clever boy with an experience in Europe, in a big academy like Real Sociedad, play in a big club in MLS like LAFC, and with a lot of professionality, ability, and intelligence. So we have a unique, and also Adrian is a player that is playing a lot, even though with Charlotte Independence, but a few times he was player of the week, and he always contributes. So, of course, Kale is a guy that they look up to, but at the same time, these guys also bring their own personality and their own positivity, which for me is unique.
Great. And my final one really quick. So we talked a lot about, must-win games, speculation, in the press room, but this is the first actual must-win game for Charlotte. It is win or be eliminated from playoff contention. How is that factoring into what the team is doing, your preparation for the game, and how y'all are approaching the game?
Some, I think, is the same. Last week, if we didn't win, we would be out. So I don't think it's any change. We prepare like we've always prepared, because we believe in the way we work. The boys are putting very good intensity again this morning. They train with a lot of positivity, intensity in what we did. And we approach every game knowing that every week we play against also strong teams, like Philadelphia was, like New York City was, like Chicago was. You just have to look at the results after that. They go and win in Cincinnati. New York beat Orlando. So it's not that we are playing teams that they are very alive, but our boys do well. They've done well. And I think we will approach this game like we approached the other one, with with humility, but ambition to play a really strong game. And we will try to do our best like we always do. We will give our best shot.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Sam.
Alex, go ahead.
Hi, Christian.
Hi.
So just really quickly, Steve asked about this, but do you plan, and I'm just gonna ask you directly, do you plan on starting Daniel Rios or Camille?
So you are asking directly.
Yes.
Oh, we are thinking at different options, but as I said before, we have already limited options, and if we start those guys, we then cannot play the players that they will take on the place, you know. So it's like they count as substitution. So we might as well not bring on the bench the guy that started. And I
Okay,
think
awesome.
it's, you know, so it's a consideration we have to make, you know.
Absolutely. And then you also said something about how Charlotte FC has changed a lot since the Columbus Crew original game, but Columbus has not as much. How has the Crew changed in your just scouting of them? How have they changed since you played them back in whenever it was, August?
Yeah, I would say they didn't change that much because, and it's natural because of the player personnel. They are a team that, you know, they are a few years to assemble with the same coaching staff, same coach. They are well coached. They achieved a lot. So obviously they didn't have to change as much as a new franchise has to, like us, that we are evolving, but also they evolve. I mean, it's life, is not new. That's why I think it's bizarre to force the teams to play like they did, because it's a false sense of, in my opinion, it's a false sense of fairness. What does it mean? We have to bring the same spectators to relieve, and also the referees. They have one different. The line was different. One of the line was different, which is normal, you know. I don't understand this idea of being recreate the scenario like before. Well, anyway, we have to respect that, and we do, but doesn't mean we have to agree with that. But in any case, you know, they are a team that also is evolving, and they play more or less the style that they had. And we know what qualities they have. The players, they also will get back Cucho Hernandez, which is a very important player for them, and you know, one of the best players in the league. And we have to deal with that. And you know, we have done scouting, we have seen the way they play, and we know what challenges we have to face.
Okay, thanks, Christian.
You're welcome.
Caleb?
Hey, Christian, hope you're doing well.
Hi, Caleb. Yeah. Fine, thank you.
That's good. You already talked about Joseph for a bit, but I wanted to kind of talk about all the wingers and specifically the recent production. They've been threatening all season long. However, we haven't really seen that final product of production until recently. They were involved in pretty much every goal against Philly. Gaines came in against Chicago and made a big difference from his wing play. And so I wanted to ask you more a bit of, what do you ask from your wingers, and what do you sort of credit to their increased production recently?
But the wingers, they are players that for us are really important. Like everybody on the pitch, they have to do their own jobs. Everybody with and without the ball, as I said before. McKenzie is also a player that, in my opinion, is evolving and improving, not just in the way he plays with the ball, but also in the way he plays without the ball, because I think his individual defensive work has improved, both tactically and physically. He can deliver good assist, as he showed in the last game. He can finish like he showed against Chicago at home. Sorry, against Orlando, I think at home when he scored the header. So he's evolving his game, and also as a coaching staff, not just me, but as a staff, I think we do a lot of work in finishing because the boys enjoy, but also because is the work that they have to do. So we spend a lot of time weekly doing finishing in different ways, and I think that also that kind of work shows in the production, also in the understanding. They start to understand each other more and more, what we want from them, what kind of areas we want them to attack, how we want to attack, and they are clever. They understand each other more and more. So if you are serving a ball to Danny, you know that he will make a different move from Carol or from Andre. And it depends on which areas of the pitch we are, how we're gonna serve the ball. And I think that as the season goes on, as the work keep doing when nobody's looking in the training ground, I think you will see more and more spilling on the pitch, hopefully. But we have to, in order to get there, obviously we need to play well in midfield with the defenders. And I also want to mention a player that for me didn't get the recognition it deserves in many different ways, which is Arizona Full, that has been sensational in many different ways, on the pitch, off the pitch, through his experience, his positivity. I think it's a credit to our club to have a guy like that is training and performing at the higher level that he does. He deserves a lot of credit for me.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to end it here. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.